Joe Biden decided to pick a fight with Facebook since they're refusing to pull a Trump ad that targets him and his son over Ukraine. So The Hill says, former Vice President Joe Biden's presidential campaign on Thursday hit Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg over a speech where the executive defended his company's decision not to take down political advertisements with inaccuracies. Quote, Facebook has chosen to sell Americans' personal data to politicians looking to target them with disproven lies and conspiracy theories, crowding out the voices of working Americans. Bill Russo, the Biden campaign's deputy communications director, said in a statement, Zuckerberg's Zuckerberg's attempt to use the Constitution as a shield for his company's bottom line. No, it's correct the way it is. Zuckerberg attempted to use the Constitution as a shield for his company's bottom line, and his choice to cloak Facebook's policy in a feigned concern for free expression demonstrates how unprepared his company is for this unique moment in our history and how little it has learned over the past few years, Russo said. Biden's campaign lashed out after Zuckerberg delivered a speech at Georgetown University where he argued that it is not Facebook's role to moderate political content. Now, so this is a little bit of a mixed issue here. Facebook has chosen to sell your data, not just to politicians, but all across the internet. And I do think there are some serious privacy concerns. I do think we maybe need to break up Facebook, maybe need to break up a lot of these big tech companies. So there are serious issues there. And I do think that Mark Zuckerberg is not principled in his defense of free expression or anything. He's just trying to protect his own butt. And he's just trying to protect Facebook and make more money. So, yes, his concern for free speech is fake. But Joe Biden's concern for fact-checking is also fake. Just as fake as Mark Zuckerberg's concern for free speech. Why do I say that? Guys, I got news for you. The reason why all the Democrats are flipping out over this Trump ad is because it's effective. They have Biden on video threatening to withhold a $1 billion subsidy from Ukraine if they don't fire their prosecutor. Now, Biden argues, hey man, I wanted them to fire the corrupt prosecutor and replace him with the non-corrupt prosecutor, so they're interpreting what I did there as the exact opposite of what it actually was. Okay, but I mean, the prosecutor who ended up taking the place of the guy they wanted fired investigated Joe Biden's son and this energy deal, and he didn't pursue any charges or anything. So it's just, one can argue kind of on principle that you're like, maybe the problem is just flat out that you're meddling with their country anyway. Like, why should we be able to dangle money over them like that to do what we want? Isn't that like, from their perspective, they could say, America's meddling in our country. America's meddling in our elections, they're meddling in our country, and that's not okay. If anybody else did that to us, oh my God, we would lose it. But we get to do it to them, and it's that smug, position of Biden and other establishment goons of like, of course we can do that, and of course it's fine. Now, furthermore, the ad points out all the money that Hunter Biden was getting from this Ukrainian natural gas firm. They want to bury that fact. They just do. Now, that's another thing where, put aside the thing with the prosecutor and getting him fired, because I don't know what's true, and frankly, I don't care about that. What I do know is the only reason Hunter Biden was getting paid, we thought the number was $50,000. It turns out it's actually $83,000 a month. The reason Hunter Biden was getting paid $83,000 a month from this Ukrainian natural gas firm is because his last name is Biden. And so if you think that there's no weird stuff going on behind the scenes, no corruption, no pay to play, I got a bridge to sell you. It is happening. So the reason why Biden is flipping out and trying to get, and other Democrats are flipping out and trying to get Facebook to pull this ad from Trump that points it out, honestly, is simply because it's an effective ad. And people watch it and they go, oh yeah, it does appear like Joe Biden, some sketchy stuff is going on, kind of corrupt. So my problem with Biden, my problem with the Democrats has always been recently that whenever there's a fight, they try to run to the mods. Like, they're running to Facebook to say, oh, and you're just going to not ban this? Is that what you're going to do? You're just going to leave it? It's like, what? why don't you just fight back? There's so much stuff there from Trump that's way worse than what's happening with Biden. The emoluments clause violation, the corruption that Saudi Arabia is giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then he's arming and backing their genocide, even when Congress said you should stop doing that, he vetoed it. So he argues you're corrupt. He's corrupt, and the corruption is leading to facilitating a genocide of Yemen. Why don't you point that out? Why don't you point out the $82 or $83 million that Jared and Ivanka made in 1 year in the White House? Why don't you point out all the foreign influence, all the Israel's funneling money to Jared Kushner? Israeli banks are giving him money as he says, oh, I'll broker a peace deal with the Palestinians. Oh, please, you're bought by one side. Are you kidding me? Guys, he's so ripe for attack in so many ways. And my problem with Biden, my problem with the Democrats is, instead of understanding the political era that we live in and acting accordingly and saying, oh, so you're taking a shot at me? How about I slit your throat and gut you like a fish? Politically, of course. But, like, that's what you need to do. And instead of doing that, he picks a fight with Mark Zuckerberg because Mark Zuckerberg's position on this issue happens to be correct, by the way, even though his motives, he didn't get there the right way. But his position of, hey, man, listen, Facebook's just a middleman. We're not in the business of pulling stuff down. It is what it is. We're not taking any stand at all. We're just a middleman. And, you know, I sympathize with that position because it's almost like people could come at me and say, Kyle, I can't believe you allowed this comment to be posted on your YouTube channel. And my response would be, I don't moderate, I don't curate. It is what it is. It's just a bathroom's wall. That's all it is. That's all it is. So I'm not going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and make it my job to filter it and censor what No. So it's a category error. You're asking me to do something that I don't do. It is what it is. I'm not responsible for it. Whoever put the comment is responsible for it. Mark Zuckerberg's not responsible for Trump's ad. Trump is responsible for Trump's ad. Now fight back. But no, instead they run to the mods. They want Mark Zuckerberg to start censoring stuff. And the cherry on top point here, which really makes me lose it on this issue, is they refuse to do any of the intellectual exercises. They refuse to think about this and really look at the chessboard and how this will unfold going forward. Because here's the reality, guys. If you allow Facebook and you say, okay, we want you to filter everything, we want you to censor the things that are not true, why on earth do you trust them, and how on earth do you know that they'll get it right? I do not trust Silicon Valley oligarch billionaires to get this right. They've already teamed, we have some fact checkers, and they team with some insane right-wing websites. Of course it's not going to be done in the right way. And who's going to fact check the fact checkers? Guys, the fact checkers were the ones who just told us, the Washington Post idiot, Kessler or whatever his name is, he was saying, Bernie Sanders is wrong on Medicare for all. What? No, he's not. He's actually 100% correct. What are you talking about? Bernie Sanders was wrong by saying 500,000 people go bankrupt because of medical bills. It turns out the medical bills is only a portion of the stuff that they have debt on, so you can't just put it on the medical bills. Nuance trolling to death. But if we have a system where Facebook gets to just pull whatever they want, I don't know, I don't like this, I don't think it's true, and they pull it, you don't think this is immediately going to backfire on the left? Of course it's going to backfire on the left. The left will become the number one target. Everybody who's anti-establishment and populist and on the left, they will nuance troll you to death. They'll be incredibly tedious. Even if you say things that are true, they will claim it's false and use cockamamie arguments to come to that conclusion. And also, they don't acknowledge there's a massive gray area. Like Biden thinks what? Everything is either on or off, black or white. No, Joe. There's a lot of claims that are in a gray area. Like, okay, that's kind of true if you look at it this way, but not if you look at it this way. And they don't care about any of this. They don't care about how this is going to unfold. They don't care. All they know is that ad is bad for us. Ban it, please, Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg is actually 100% correct on this issue. Even though it's for the wrong reasons, I don't care. Facebook shouldn't be in the business of fact-checking and censoring and pulling stuff. They should be in the business of doing none of that and saying, hey, man, we're just a middleman, okay? And all the Democrats need to accept it and just fight back, man. Because I got news for everybody. Think about when we learned that the DNC was rigging the primary against Bernie Sanders. We learned from WikiLeaks that was the case. Mainstream media ignored it all and act like that was a conspiracy theory. So, okay, let's say you have mods, let's say you have Facebook determining what's allowed and what's not allowed at that time, which side do you think they would have came out on? I got news for you. They would have came out on the side of the establishment, and they would have said it's a conspiracy to say it was rigged, and they wouldn't allow that stuff on there. The Iraq War. In the lead up to the Iraq War, they said the conspiracy theory was to be against the war and to say he didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Should Facebook be involved in pulling down those comments? Because that's what the establishment would have wanted. The establishment would have wanted, oh, you got to pull down the anti-war stuff. What are you kidding me? Censorship always backfires on the left, but Biden and the corporate Democrats are begging for more censorship, and it's pathetic.